it's Julie Davison and Susan LaCroix. Welcome to Sunday Stamping with Susan and Julie. We're so excited that you're joining us today. It is Sunday, January 22nd, 2023. And we are like 3/4 of the way through the month. I cannot believe this. We've got a good start to celebration and the mini catalog, and it's just been going so fast. Mom, how are you doing this week?
Okay, like you, it's just like, where is this going? Today is your Uncle Tom's birthday.
Aww.
So happy birthday, Tom. I know you're not watching, but but yeah, I mean, it 3/4 of the way through January already. We're almost halfway through celebration.
Yes, that is crazy.
Yeah, we're almost 1/4 of the way through the mini. It's like, what? Yeah.
I didn't think about it like that, but it's true. And one of the products that we're, well, not showing today, that's on back order, is not coming back until April. And I'm like, that's already the end of the catalog. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
So we encourage you to get all of your favorites now because it's going really fast, and you'll be really sad that you didn't get some of these things if they sell out. Nothing is sold out like permanently yet. I don't want to alarm anybody, but
Right.
I feel like it's inevitable at some point. So
It is. I think so. I think what we're going to show today is it's clearly one of my favorite sweets in the catalog, and so I've been chomping at the bit to show it. I've got some samples that I made to show you as well. So I suppose we should hop right to it. Hey.
Yes, I was just gonna say, without further ado, let's let you get to it. So let's switch the camera over.
All right. So yes, this is in the mini catalog, and it is on pages 8 and 9. Let me get this out of the way. And it's the Country Floral Lane suite. So what is not available until April is this great punch. And I know I've used it during one of our videos. I've shown you how to use it because it coordinates with the paper. But I won't even give you the suite number because it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So, but I'm going to show you the rest of the products in the suite. And I know a lot of people don't like to fussy cut, but honestly, these images are fairly easy to fussy cut. So if you wanted everything, you could still make some of the projects with it.
Yeah.
So
and then get the punch when it's available. And I just say really quickly, I kind of feel like I have to be careful here. I have absolutely no knowledge, but I feel like since the punch is coming back in April, I kind of feel like it's probably going to carry over, because if
Julie,
it wasn't, I feel like they would just say it's sold out. We're not getting any more. It's done.
Exactly. I feel the same way. So that, when I saw that, I was like, I wonder if this is one of the carryovers, but we don't know. We truly do not know. And we won't know till towards the end of this catalog cycle. So,
but I say get everything else now so that you have it when the punch is back in stock.
Exactly. All right. So I'm going to show you everything, but I just want to mention the colors while I'm thinking about it. Sweet Sorbet, Petal Pink, Mossy Meadow, Mint Macaron, and Balmy Blue are the colors in the designer series paper. All right. So let me put this over here. And here is this great punch. Goes away. Get out of here. So this is a photopolymer stamp set. It's got some great flower. This is kind of that distinctive look, which I love it because it gives depth to the stamped image. And I love that we're friends. For you, I love you with love. Happy Valentine's Day. Just wanted to say, lots of great items. This is a set of 16 stamps. Now let's get to the paper. This is I didn't bring out the sequins yet. So there's 2 packs of designer series paper with the suite. So this one is a 6x6, and it's got Sweet Sorbet and Blushing Bright, Balmy Blue, and Mint Macaron. Okay, so you've got different ginghams or plaids. Why don't let this scoot over here? Okay, and then the other side again is more. So isn't that great? I just love this. It's so versatile.
Yeah.
With more than just this suite. So boy, oh boy, I love it. This paper is 12 by 12. I've cut it into 6 by 6 sheets just to be able to show you. And of course, I've got that one upside down, don't I? I've got it all upside down. All right. So we've got these great hearts. And again, you know, you can fussy cut out the hearts. It's not difficult. These cute little sweet hearts. I love those. And this is the mossy meadow background. And I love this one with the bikes.
I love that the paper, it has some Valentine, obviously with the hearts, but I love that there's patterns that like you really could use with lots of different stamp sets, and they're not just for Valentine's Day.
That is so correct. Here is the B side. Look at that. So again, we have some that have little hearts on there, but we have some stripes too.
Yeah.
Some just great background sets. So lovely paper as always. And then we have some great ribbon with the crumb cake and the real red. And it's funny that this is real red when the color in the paper sweet sorbet. But hey, you know what? I think it kind of works. So,
I didn't even realize that. That's funny.
isn't that funny? And then there's these sequins that also, let me get a piece of white so you can see it better. So, oh, we have a little blue that popped onto a little pink. Get out of there. Okay. So you've got the balmy blue and the pink and gold.
I love them.
Too. I just, yeah. Okay. So that is the suite. And Julie, are you ready?
Do you want to share some of your samples now with this
I
week?
can do it now. Sure. I might
Okay.
as well. All right. So this one we did for, I think I did this for my catalog launch last week.
Oh, I like that.
I just love all the DSP, and this is a good way to show it.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's this one. I think we did,
Oh, I love that.
yeah. So again, I just love this DSP. So I took some of the gingham, some of the patterned paper, decided to do, you know, I guess more for a masculine, I guess. I think this is what I did for our swap, I believe. Now I'm not remembering, but there it is. And then this little note card.
Oh,
Need to get over here more, I think. So yeah, with love, happy Valentine's Day. And then this guy, I think this is what I showed on our video. Was this
yes, it was. That was a mystery stamping project.
Yeah. So this was my mystery stamping project. So those are the samples that I've made. And so now, Julie, I'll ask you, are you ready?
Yeah, I pulled, I'm going to start with some samples too. So let me switch the desktop over. I just wanted to show how different ways that you could use this designer paper. I just made this card this past week, and I was casing the catalog. So I was copying this sample here, but I had the new challenge of not using the punch. So I used the heart stamp, and it's hard to see in the picture, but the original sample uses the Stitched with Whimsy. So I added that detail, and I kind of did it almost exactly the same, but I love the way that turned out with the designer paper. So I also have used this designer paper with some other stamp sets. In fact, this is a stamp set from the annual catalog. I cannot remember the name of it, but I have 3 different cards that all use that same stamp set and the designer paper. So this paper, you were saying, Mom, it's so good to go with lots of things, not just this bundle. So here's some swaps I've got. This one is from Gwen Duckworth using the Easter Bunny. And this one from Susan Campfield. So this one uses the Country Floral, and this is Punch from the Country Floral. And then this is the Country Gingham in a fun little panel card. These patterns remind me of some shirts that Jim has that he wears like at Easter time. So I just love that gingham. Well, I also have a swap card from Sandy Carlson using the gnomes. So sweet with this designer paper. I love that. And then here's one from Bonnie O'Neill using the designer paper and the sentiment from the stamp set, but I just thought it was a fun panel card. Okay, so today's card, I'm going to show you I'm going to show you my inspiration card. I'm using the Share a Milkshake bundle because I wanted to just show some more ideas using the designer paper with other stamp sets. I'm using the Share a Milkshake bundle. This is something I haven't used before. I'm really excited. It just arrived. It is a photopolymer stamp set, and it's got some coordinating dies, including some detail dies like this waffle cone and this sort of waffle texture. And let me show you really quick some swaps that I have with this one. This is from Rachel Chamberlain, and this one from Kathy Miller. And both of them, I just want to point out, because I'm going to use this image, it cuts a slit inside of the ice cream, and it's intended for a straw. And so both of them have used the slit. I'm going to cover up the slit with the cherry, but I just wanted to point out what that slit is for, using it with the straw. Well, today's card is inspired by a card I received from Barb Apke, and it has two flaps, a double flap. And so I did a card like this with our team for our mystery stamping Zoom this month. And I created a version using the On the Farm and designer paper. And I love the way that turned out. During the video, Margot Richardson used this Country Floral suite, and I thought that was so sweet. And so for my stamp club this month, we made cards using the Country Floral, and I used the punch and punched out the designer paper to make these cards. Aren't they just the sweetest?
They are adorable.
And then I learned that the punch was unavailable. So that's why we're using the Share a Milkshake today. So we're going to do the same kind of double flap card, but using a different stamp set. I love this Share a Milkshake. I think it's really versatile and goes well beyond Valentine's Day. Like, milkshakes don't necessarily make me think of Valentine's Day, but I love that it has a Valentine sentiment in it. So you can have, some sweet thoughts and, use it for Valentine's Day and still use it for other things. So I picked out some patterns of designer paper from the Country Floral. I'm using the pink hearts from the Country Floral, and then some gingham from that Country Gingham. So let's start with our card base. I'm using the thick basic white cardstock. It's 5.5 by 7.5, and I scored it at 4 1/4. So it's going to have a flap that comes just short of going all the way across. So this is going to be our card base. And then the second flap is 3 3/4 inches by 4 1/4, scored at 3 1/4. So actually it would be this way with the score line and the flap on that side. You can use your bone folder, get a nice good crease there. And then that's going to go, oh, that's going to be interesting. I just realized on my other cards, I attached that to a piece of white that was on the inside, but since my card base is white, I guess I'll just attach it to the back of the card. We'll just do that this time. That'll work out. And then I have some designer paper to go on the flaps. So the big flap is going to be 3 inches by 5 1/4, and the smaller flap is 3 inches by 4 inches. So you want to use some coordinating cardstock, but I think I like it better with, patterns that coordinate and aren't the same, but you can certainly use the same paper there. Then I have a accent strip, which is 1 by 3 3/4, and I'm using Sweet Sorbet for this. And I've got some miscellaneous pieces that I'm going to be stamping on and die cutting, and then a piece for the greeting that is 7/8 inch by 1 3/4 inch. And we'll have all the measurements for you in the video description, so you can check that out. If you hit the more or the little arrow, I'm not sure how it shows up. I think it's different on a mobile device and a regular device. Well, let's start by putting our card base together. So I'm going to move some of these little pieces over, and we're going to use some tear and tape. And if you were doing this on a colored card base and had a piece of white on the inside, then you would be attaching this card flap to the white cardstock and then putting that glued down here so that the back flap is underneath the white cardstock, and so you don't have any of that showing. But since my card base is white, I'm going to just go ahead and put it on the back of the card. And so I'm just going to take that tear and tape off and just kind of center it where I want it to go, and then adhere it down to the back. Then we can add our designer paper pieces. It's really fun to mix and match. In fact, I started one with some of the Dandy Designs designer paper, and I didn't finish it. I have got to add the focal piece, but it was kind of fun to find papers and patterns that mixed and matched and looked good together. So I feel like the possibilities are endless, and you can really use any designer paper and stamp set to create this card. Next up, we're going to add our accent strip, and I'm going to do a little banner tip on one end. So I'm cutting up the center, and then from each corner to the top of that center cut. And this is going to go across the small flap of the card. And then I'm going to add the circle with regular adhesive as well. And this is going to go on the right side of that banner, because I will end up having my sentiment kind of tucked over here. So I think having it over to the right side is good. We're going to stamp now. And on one of the samples, I really like the way this looked. This stamp does have the Milkshake cup does have a solid and then some detail that can go over it. But I decided to just use the detail image and put that directly on a colored piece of cardstock. So I'm using crumb cake. I'm going for like a chocolate milkshake. Oh, I just dropped a piece. If you wanted to, you could add that the other solid image, you could just like stamp off of it. I have a little scrap for my cherry, and so that's going to go on the little piece.
That is the smallest scrap I have ever seen, I think.
I actually pulled it out of the garbage. I knew I just needed something little, and I'm wanting to send all of these through the die cutting machine at the same time. This color, by the way, is Petal Pink to coordinate with the designer paper. While I have all the ink pads out, let's do some other stamping. We're going to add that sentiment on the front that says, "Be my Valentine." And then on the inside, I'm going to add the words, "Life is sweeter with you."
Aww.
I know, right? And so then let's add some hearts. This is part of the stamp set too. I'm going to do that with the Petal Pink.
Nice.
Life is sweeter with you. You want to make sure when you're stamping that you avoid the corners because it will show up on the front of your card. All right, let's do some die cutting. I gotta get out my little Desi. Oh my goodness, this has been so much fun. I love this little boho blue mini machine. And if you haven't heard yet, you can get this mini machine when you join as a demonstrator during celebration. I'm gonna flash this up really quick and just show you. We got the main offer is that you get an extra $50 in your starter kit. So instead of $125, you get $175 in product for $99 plus tax. Shipping is always free on the starter kit. And then in addition to that, you have the optional add-on or the choice to add on the mini Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine, either in boho blue or in white, if you prefer, for just $30 more. So you don't have to get the mini machine, but normally this is $63 plus tax and shipping, the white one. You cannot buy the blue one unless you're joining as a demonstrator during celebration. So for $30 more, that's more than half price, and you don't have to pay shipping on it. So it is an amazing deal. For $129, you can choose $175 in product plus get your mini machine. And that mini machine, this is, I think, causes a lot of confusion. The mini machine does not count towards your $175. So you get the mini machine plus you choose $175 and stuff for $129. So what an amazing deal. I wish I could join all over again.
I'll sign you up.
Oh my goodness. Well, demonstrators did have the opportunity to pre-order the boho blue, and that pre-order period has ended. So hopefully if you wanted one, you got one. Mom, did you end up getting it?
No.
There really is no need for another mini machine. My plan is to send the boho blue mini machine with Claire when she goes away to college. So that's how I'm justifying my second machine.
That is so funny.
Oh, it's such a great size, the mini machine. And even if you don't want to join as a demonstrator, you can still get the white mini machine in the catalog. It's such a great size to have on your desk. It doesn't take up a lot of room. If you travel, like if you well, if you go to crops, it's really great, a perfect size to take with you if you're going to crops, but also like if you have a second home or a cabin or you're traveling to visit family. I feel like especially in the winter, people travel a lot. You can easily pack and take the mini machine with you. And so I think it's really handy, a really handy size when the other one can sometimes be a little bit big. I'm going to use some Stampin' Dimensionals to add the milkshake cup and the top. I don't know if this is ice cream on top of a milkshake, or just the top of a milkshake. When was the last time you had a milkshake, Mom?
Actually, your dad and I split one today.
Oh, did you really?
We did. We helped out with the funeral at church, and so it was getting close to lunchtime, and it was like, let's just pick up some sliders from White Castle, and we split a small fry and we split a small milkshake.
Oh, I love it. What flavor was it?
Oh, chocolate.
Of course. Oh, well, Anna, my youngest, is lactose intolerant. And so the kids always beg when we go to Steak and Shake. They always beg for a milkshake. So I always feel like we leave Anna out when we do that. So we don't get milkshakes very often. We have made milkshakes at home before. And then Anna can use her her dairy-free ice cream, and it's not so bad. But it's been a while since I've had a milkshake, and now I want one. I'm going to use some of our pastel adhesive sequins. And I do find that the pink in these sequins, to me, is more of a blushing bride.
Yeah.
And I don't think it goes as well with the petal pink. I don't know.
I agree.
So I think I'm going to use gold for the sequins on this card. And I'm just realizing that there's a different size. I cut one sheet in half, and I didn't notice until just now. One sheet is bigger and one sheet is a little bit smaller. I don't know how well you can see that. Anyway, so you have two sizes. I love they changed the packaging and put them flat in the cello bag now instead of having the adhesive back sequins in those bulkier containers, because you could never like seal it up and keep it from getting all over the place. I always struggle so much
with placement. Yeah, I do too.
Oh.
There you go.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Be my Valentine. Life is sweeter with you.
Lovely. That's a great card, Jay.
Oh, thank you so much. I love this unfold, and I do think it can be used with so many different papers and stamp sets. Mom, are you ready to share your card?
Yeah, I just ran across I have a couple samples with that. I thought, oh man, here's one I haven't done in a while. And then there you go, you do it, which is great. No, that's great. Yes, I am ready. All right. So I am using the Country Bouquet stamp set, Sans Punch, but I'm going to do something a little bit different. So my card base is Blushing Bride at 8.5 by 5.5. I have a piece of the DSP, 5 1/4 by 4 inches. Actually, I think it's the same. Yeah, that's okay. We'll figure it out. And for the inside piece, 5 1/4 by 4 inches. And then I have an inside piece because I love these little bicycles. So it's 5 1/4, but because of the size of the bike, it's 1 1/4. If you used a different DSP, you could certainly cut it down a little bit. All right. I'm using some of the ribbon. And so I am going to start with holding this. Oh, I just dropped some iridescent gems. All right, and I'm going to put this, it's the same size as the card front. I have got sequins all over the floor. So this is actually the same size. I just want to really use those bikes. I wasn't sure I was going to like the bikes. And then when I started playing, I was like, I do love these bikes. All right. So there's our card front. We're going to go ahead and stamp our inside. I'm going to put this on here first. I always tell folks to get all your stamping done before you start assembling, in case you make a mistake. All right, so the inside sentiment is going to be, I love that we are friends.
I love that sentiment because I think it's fun to send Valentines to other people besides, your sweetheart. And so I think that sentiment is a perfect thing to say in a Valentine card to your friends, but it also works for all year. It's not just a Valentine sentiment.
Yes, it most certainly does. All right. All right, so our inside is done. I also have a couple other pieces. I die cut a 2.5 inch circle of the mint macaron that we're going to use. And I'm going to stamp Happy Valentine's Day on this 4 inch by 1/2 inch piece of Blushing Bride cardstock. And I am stamping this, by the way, in Sweet Sorbet. And this is going to be longer than you're going to need, but we're going to do a little bit of cutting it down once I get I got ink all over this block. That's okay. Am I in camera, Jay? Okay.
Yeah, you're perfect.
Okay. And I think, no, I'm not done stamping. Okay, so we're going to put our sentiment aside for a moment. And I'm going to bring it, normally I would have done a scrap, but I forgot to pull a scrap, so we're going to use this. So the first thing I'm going to do is do my leaves, I think, in mint macaron. This is a color I haven't used very much lately. The mint macaron. Have you, Jen?
I love mint macaron. It's my favorite of the lighter greens, so I think I do use it frequently. But I do find that my use of color is really tied to designer paper, and I tend to use designer paper, you know what I mean? Colors that are in the designer paper. So,
yeah, I absolutely agree. All right. So
all right. Do you have any tips for lining this up? Because I did it the other day and I felt like I didn't know what I was doing.
Oh, no, I just kind of line it up and go for it. That's the beauty of the photopolymers. Not bad.
Oh, that's perfect.
So now what I'm going to do, because especially since our punch isn't available right now, is I'm going to punch it out with these punches they're in the annual catalog. And so you can get the scalloped and the regular heart. So we are going to go ahead.
Does it fit?
Yeah,
What?
look at that.
I
So you
didn't
obviously
think
have
about that.
over. Pardon?
I didn't even think about that. How brilliant.
And then I brought out some sweet sorbet scrap, and I'm just punching the scalloped one out. And then I will glue them together.
Oh my goodness. I love that. I really love this heart, but when I was cutting it out by hand, like it was bothering me that it wasn't symmetrical. Like there's like a weird part of it that hangs down. I love the idea of punching it. That's so perfect.
Yeah. And then this is going to layer on this circle. Now I did a little something different with the ribbon. I was playing with it. I had it out and I thought, oh, I could just layer them together. So that's what we're going to do.
Oh,
We're going to layer our ribbons together just for a little interest. And there is I don't know if you can see this real well. There is a front. Well, not really, maybe. I thought, and maybe it was just the light where I was working. But it looked like there was the stitching on the outer part was different, but I don't think it is. I think I imagined it.
I haven't used this ribbon a whole lot yet, but I love that you get both ribbons in the same package.
So let's see if I can do this on camera. Because of course it worked perfectly when I was just sitting here playing, right?
It always does.
Of course. Oh, see, I didn't get that too. I'm going to put a little bit more. Jay, you really just measure perfectly. How you manage that. Okay. Make sure it's on there really well. And let's see if I can take this off now. The tear tape is a little bit big for this red ribbon, but I'm going to put it on the crumb cake ribbon, so it'll work just fine until it doesn't, right?
Oh, it looks like it's okay. Like it doesn't look like it hangs off a lot.
You know what? Let's do this. No. Why am I? Yep, this is it. Never mind. Never mind. So I'm trying to place this right between the stitching and the crumb cake.
Oh, nice.
Oh, let me readjust this. Oh, let me lay it down. There we go. And I think what I'm going to do, because this isn't right, is I'm just going to do this.
It's like you made a brand new ribbon.
There you go. All right, let me get this out of the way. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to lay my circle down, or glue my circle down. Right about here. Then I'm going to lay my ribbon down here. So I'm going to get out my tear and tape again for the back side. And now I'm going to lay this over the mint macaron circle. Let's go right about here, maybe. And now we're going to put this on here. And then we'll pop up our sentiment here once I kind of readjust it. Do a little
I like this use of ribbon because sometimes I feel like tying a bow and putting it on there can be really bulky for mailing, but this is kind of nice because it lays flat and it doesn't really cause too much bulk on the card.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too, if I mail this, so. All right, so let me get my nips. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm gonna do the same cut here. So I'm gonna lock that off. And I'm gonna lay this here. I'm gonna put some dimensionals on this side and a little bit of the adhesive on that side. I'm gonna use my little guys. Just because it's up a little higher.
Yeah.
Let me make sure I'm putting these on there. Yeah. Well, we've got some trips coming up, Julie.
Oh my gosh, it's coming so quickly. We were talking earlier about the year being like already January going so fast. And so I feel like all of that is just going to come so quickly, planning for my trip to Utah in March. And I'm so excited that we're going to be able to meet up with you and Dad and spend a few extra days in St. George, Utah. So you've got your trip to Phoenix and then planning for the incentive trip in May. It's exciting.
Yeah, it really is. Okay, so I want this to kind of go here, like so.
Oh, that is so sweet.
And then I was thinking of using some of the sequins as well, but then I brought out the iridescence.
I'm laughing because like you use those on almost every card.
Well,
love
okay.
those iridescent gems.
I do. I absolutely do. And I have lots of packages. So here is one option because like you, I'm not crazy about this pink, but there's some blue in the paper. So I could go and put some blue sequins in here.
Oh.
Or gold. Or iridescence.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I really do like the iridescent with this card.
Yeah, I do
I
too.
know I was making fun of you, but like you seriously do. If we counted up how many videos you use that in, I don't think that I like ever used the iridescent until you started using it all the time. And now I just like reach for it all the time because you always make it look so good.
Oh, you're funny, Julie. I do love them. I will not lie. I do love them. Let's see. Like you, I'm going to struggle here for placement.
I think you've probably convinced our viewers about these iridescent gems because you've used them so much.
Yeah, maybe. All right.
Yeah, leave a comment and let us know at home if you have the iridescent rhinestones. And is it because if Mom uses it all the time in her cards?
Anyway, there is my card.
Oh, so sweet. I like the way that you use that bike paper because I do find it to be a challenging pattern. I love it, but I'm just never sure how to use it. And I think it is so sweet on this card on the background. And then I love that strip on the inside too.
Yeah, it's funny. This I would really have liked this up here more, but I think it's okay with this border at the top. And I could have the same border on the inside now that I think about it. Because it's a little bit smaller. But I
like the bikes on the inside.
Yeah, yeah. There it is.
Lovely card, Mom.
Thank you, Julie.
Let's switch the camera around and we'll show off our card. Oh my goodness. This country floral paper is so beautiful. And I think that we've showed you that you really can use it with so many different stamp sets. It's not just for Valentine's Day. So even though this punch is not currently available and that makes the entire suite item show up as not currently available, everything else at this point in time, the stamp set, the designer papers, both of them, the ribbon, the gems, they're all still available to order. And so we hope that you are inspired today to get some of those. We'll have the shopping links in our video description. So if you want to get any of the products that we showed today, you can find that down there. And of course, during celebration, for every $50 that you order, you get to choose freebies. That's going on until February 28th. So I don't want to say time is running out, but it is going quickly.
It is. It's amazing how quickly it is going. I just, yeah. I think it's I thought it was a function of age, but the older you get, the faster time goes.
It's true. I mean, it's all relative, but
It
yes,
is.
I found the same to be true. Next week, I think we plan to share some more celebration products. So if you're looking for some inspiration, leave a comment and let us know what in particular from Celebration you would like to see, and we'll do our best to accommodate your requests. We've already shown the Dainty Delight designer paper, and we recently shared the
Favorite flowers? Favorite?
Beautifully Happy, is that the name of the stamp set, the $100 level one,
Yes.
and the
We
Dandy
love that.
Designs designer paper. So
Favorite
I think we're going to
flowers?
favorite flowers. We showed that one. I used that one a lot for mystery stamping when we did that on Christmas. So
Yeah.
we're looking at those stamp sets. Let us know what you would like to
Mm.
see for celebration stamp sets. What would you like to see some ideas for? And we'll do our best to accommodate in next week's video. Make sure you subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on future Sunday stamping videos that air every Sunday at noon Central Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Time.
Absolutely. Well, we hope you all have a wonderful week. Thank you so much for tuning in. We feel so blessed to have you joining us for this. We absolutely love it. And I think it's almost time, Julie, we need to start talking about a stamp along.
Yes, I think if we're going to do that every couple months, sometime in February, we'll do that. So
Yeah,
we'll be sure to share
about
some
right.
details when we're going to do that. We'll share some details a week ahead of time so you can plan in advance and stamp along with us. We always have so much fun doing that, and I love seeing what you guys at home create and share with us on Facebook group. So yeah, definitely one of those coming up in February.
Yeah.
Which is around the corner.
It's around the corner. So until next Sunday Stamping with Susan and Julie, have a wonderful, blessed week. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Bye, Mom.
Bye.
Love you.
Love you.